Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Midweek News. This is episode 23 for May the 3rd, 2023. Let's get started. First up, we've got Red Hat's 30th anniversary. The Slashdot article highlights some of the Red Hat backstory and includes links to a series of articles from North Carolina's News and Observer. Unfortunately, the articles seem to be paywalled. Next up, the AP reports about a joint venture. Ben from Ben & Jerry's starts a pot nonprofit. And who says there can't be humor in journalism? Next up, we've got an article about public Wi-Fi and 4 other tech fears you can stop worrying about. While the general media appears to be a little wishy-washy with their reporting on these things, this article seems to put the readers at ease to some extent. With any advice like this, proceed with caution and do your own research. Moving on, Su and Sudo are being rewritten in the Rust programming language. Originally developed back in the 1980s and written in C, Sudo has experienced many vulnerabilities related to memory safety issues. So this is a welcome development. Moving on, Microsoft broke a Chrome feature to promote its Edge browser. I call shenanigans. Why does Microsoft keep flip-flopping on how difficult it wants to make it for users to change their preferred browser? Next up, the NYPD urges citizens to buy AirTags to fight a surge in car thefts. And I quote from the article, because the 21st century calls for 21st century policing. Now, my thought is the thieves are just going to find a way to scan for AirTags before they take a car. But hey, I guess if you want to advertise how you're going to try to protect things, more power to you. And now we've got Mozilla buying Fakespot, a startup that identifies fake reviews and will be bringing this technology into shopping tools for Firefox. As a Firefox user, I am curious to see what the long-term impact will really be of this technology. CERN celebrates 30 years since releasing the web to the public domain. What would have happened if those software vendors approached at the time had actually been interested in the technology? The world will never know. Moving on. Apple and Google team up to stop unwanted AirTag tracking. In a rare moment when the two companies work together, this joint effort will allow both iOS and Android users to prevent AirTags from being used to track people without their permission. Intel to rebrand client chips once Meteor Lake splashes down. The reporting suggests Ultra 5 could replace names like Core i5. Well, the Ultra naming works so well for Windows Vista, so why not? Ukraine is now using Steam Decks to control machine gun turrets. This idea alone might be enough to make Steam Decks more popular for certain people during the holidays this year. I applaud the idea of using such consumer devices in an application such as this, especially if it keeps people away from the front lines of this war. To borrow from something Steve Jobs said years ago, Redmond, start your photocopiers. Microsoft to take on Apple M MacBook with new ARM chips and Windows 12. While Microsoft ARM chips and Windows 12 are nothing more than vaporware at this time, only time will tell if they will end up being able to compete and if their customers will actually buy them. Mastodon introduces easier onboarding, more improvements on the way. As Twitter continues to swirl the bowl, Mastodon is making it easier for new and non-technical users to get signed up. Since there are a lot of Debian and Ubuntu users in my audience, I wanted to include this article as it's a good nugget of information to save when you need it. And this article covers how to resolve the apt key deprecation warning message. Automated patch management for Linux users. Manage Engine Patch Manager Plus surely looks interesting, and it works with macOS and Windows machines as well. Certainly worth a look if you're running a business. I'm going to have to investigate pricing to see if it's reasonable for a person with a home lab to use. Ubuntu 23.10, dubbed Mantic Minotaur, is slated for release on October 12th, 2023. Early predictions are for it to release with GNOME 45 and the 6.5 Linux kernel. Time will tell. OBS Studio 29.1 has been released with support for AV1, HEVC streaming over enhanced RTMP. And if you need to know what all those acronyms are, check the article. A welcome addition nonetheless. Linux Mint plans 3 releases this summer. We will get Linux Mint 21.2, Linux Mint Debian Edition 6, and the Edge ISO. The Debian Edition is expected to be based on Debian 12, and the Edge ISO is for cutting-edge computers where the normal 21.2 install may not complete properly. And finally, Clonezilla Live 3.1 has been released, and it includes Memtest 86 Plus version 6.10 and improved RAID support, along with bug fixes. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of this rather long midweek news. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.